Levi, you can't sit there. I have to make a video. I need you to move, please. Can you go off? Off. Come on. Off. Thank you. Okay, so in this video, I want to talk about 5 scams that have become so normalized that we don't even realize they're scams anymore. In truth, this video could probably contain at least 20 to 30 items because I think that there's a lot of things happening in the world that we've just become so used to, we don't recognize that we're getting the short end of the stick. With that said, we're going to focus on the 5 ones that I find to be the most widespread, the most impactful, and the most outrageous. Let's get right into it. So the very first thing we need to talk about is one that I've actually mentioned in a previous video, and you guys found it both entertaining and interesting apparently, and that is bank fees. I want to do a little bit of a deeper dive into it right now. When I say bank fees, I'm referring to the monthly account fees that your bank charges you simply for having an account. I'm referring to the service fees that you get charged for sending an e-transfer or using your debit card or withdrawing money or paying a bill. I'm talking about really any time that the bank is charging you money for accessing your own money. This, in my opinion, is one of the most widespread and widely accepted scams, and it absolutely boggles my mind. I'm going to give you guys a very simplified overview of how banks work, just in case there's anybody out there who's unfamiliar with what's going on here, and then you'll start to see why this is such bullshit. When you have a bank account, you deposit your money in. Maybe you do it yourself, maybe your employer deposits your paycheck into that bank every month. And when you look at the ATM screen or you look at the app on your phone, you see a number that's supposed to represent your balance. But that money that you supposedly have in your account isn't really in your account, because as soon as you deposit that money, the bank takes your money and they take my money and they take everybody else's money and they pool it all together and they loan it out to other people and charge interest on those loans. And that's how the bank makes money. And depending on the type of loan that they are using that money for, the interest that they're earning could range anywhere from 4 or 5% for a mortgage, all the way up to 20 to 30% on a credit card. By doing this with everybody's money, banks collectively make billions and billions, with a B, not an M, billions and billions of dollars every single year by really not doing much but shuffling money from one person to the other. They're getting rich off of your money. They're getting rich off of my money. And if that's not bad enough and that's not outrageous enough in itself, then they have the audacity to charge you money for the luxury of making them rich, for the privilege of making them rich. They need us a lot more than we need them. And for sure, there are certain conveniences that come with having a bank account, like the ability to easily pay your bills from your phone. And of course, it's a lot safer to use a bank account than it is to just stash your cash under your mattress. But the fact is, they couldn't survive without us, and we could easily survive without them. If anything, they should be paying us a portion of the profits that they're making. And sometimes they do in a very small way. If you have what's called a high interest savings account or a high yield savings account, you might be earning a small amount of interest on the money that sits in your account. Right now, you might be getting as much as 4%, which is the highest that it's been in many, many years. But even that is insulting when you think about the fact that they could be earning up to 20, 25, or even 30% on certain types of loans. They're charging us $12 a month to even hold an account, or they're penalizing you if you don't maintain a certain minimum balance in your account, or they're charging you $2 for every withdrawal, or $1.50 every time you use your debit card. I said this in the last video where I brought this up, and I will say it again. If you take $12 a month and you hand it to the bank for holding an account, you would actually be better off taking $144 a year, lighting it on fire, watching it burn into soot, and that would be more entertaining and a better use of your money. There is no reason in the world that you should be paying them for the luxury of holding your money and for the luxury of being able to access and utilize the money that you've worked for. So what is the solution? Well, thankfully, in a lot of cases, there are free bank accounts available. Sometimes they're offered through smaller banks or online-only institutions where they don't have physical branches you can go into, which is perfectly fine. A lot of the times, even the bigger banks offer free accounts to certain groups of people like students or seniors or new immigrants. Point being, if you look hard enough, all of us should be able to find a free bank account to be able to do our day-to-day banking, to be able to deposit our paychecks, pay our bills, and not get scammed and ripped off. It's your money, not theirs. Screw them.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Moving on. Scam number 2 that has been completely normalized, so much so that we don't even realize we're getting ripped off anymore, is overpriced phone plans. This is something I could go on a very long-winded tangent about, and I will spare you, but the point being that in this day and age, having a phone with the ability to call, text, and use data is pretty much imperative for most of us. I know personally I need it for work as much as I do for pleasure, and I think that that is the case for a lot of people. But knowing that for most of us, not having a phone simply isn't an option, wireless companies love to take advantage and hike their prices every 6 months or every year, knowing that there's really nothing you can do about it, and if they all do it collectively, your options for competition are null. As a Canadian specifically, I get absolutely screwed on my phone plan. We have some of the highest rates for wireless plans in the world. I'm currently getting, I believe, 20 gigs of data. We don't even really have unlimited here. I get about 20 gigs and call and texting, and I'm paying nearly $80 a month for no real reason, which is insane. My bill used to be around $60, which I already thought was way too much, but somehow over the last few years, it has climbed all the way up to $80, even though nothing has changed on my end. And I hate it, but I don't really feel like I have any other options. And I have to say that I am so jealous of my American friends who have access to amazing options from brands like Mint Mobile, who happens to be partnering with me on this video. If you've ever looked at your phone bill and thought, why the hell is this so damn expensive? Then Mint Mobile is for you. You've probably already seen their funny commercials with Ryan Reynolds, but let me tell you about how awesome their service is. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for as low as $15 a month, and you don't have to sacrifice any coverage, speed, or data because they're built on the nation's largest 5G network. They just keep costs low by selling directly to you online. Switching to Mint is super simple and can be done completely online within about 15 minutes. The sign up, the activation, the whole shebang. Their prices are incredible, but right now they're offering an extra special deal just for you guys. If you sign up using my link before July 14th, you'll get their unlimited plan, which is normally $30 a month, for just $15 a month. That's 50% off their already super low price. 15 minutes to pay as low as $15 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Unbelievable. I literally pay like 5 times that and I don't even get unlimited data. Why do I live here? Head over to mintmobile.com/accordingtonicole or click the link in the description box down below. Using my special link helps us support this channel, so thank you guys very much, and thank you to Mint Mobile for partnering with me on this video. Scam number 3 is something that I think that most people fall victim to because they simply don't really fully understand it, and that is credit card interest. I think for a lot of people it is normalized just to put everything on your credit card and then either make the minimum monthly payment or pay off however much you can based on how much money you have left when the bill comes in. And I think that most people don't understand how much extra you're really paying when you put something on a credit card and don't pay it off in full.
Wow, my own credit card!
Most credit cards have an interest rate of about 20% annually, but that is compounding interest, which means that you're not just paying 20% on your purchase, but you're paying 20% interest on top of the 20% interest for as long as you don't pay off the balance. If you made a $100 purchase today and it took you a year to pay it off, at the end of the year you'd owe $120, which is already pretty hefty. That's an extra fifth on top of the initial purchase price. And if it took you a second year to pay it off, by the end of that second year, you now owe the $100 for the item you bought, the $20 for the first year of interest, and now an additional 20% of the $120, which is $24. Altogether, that comes out to $144. That's 44% more that you're paying for that thing because it's taken you 2 years to pay it off. If you kept dragging this out, by year 4, you'd owe over $200, which means in the span of 4 years, the purchase price is now doubled for you. Now, on the scale of a $100 purchase, that may not even seem like that shocking or that big of a deal to you, but imagine how impactful that is when we're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars worth of purchases. I think that if most people fully understood this, they might think twice about how much money they're spending on their credit cards and the things that they're spending their money on. But most people just look at the ticket price. They look at whatever the price on the shelf is and they think about, okay, well, I'll pay it off later, or I'll add a few extra bucks to my monthly payment, and they really don't think about the long-term effects.
I'll use my credit card.
Credit card interest is a scam because it's predatory, and it takes advantage of people who A, either really don't have any money, and so they're basically taxing the poor, or B, people who don't have the education and don't understand the math to understand the ramifications of their spending habits. If you are going to use a credit card, do what I do and use it like a debit card. Put your regular monthly purchases on it, things like gas and groceries and all the things that you need to get by, and then pay it off in full at the end of every month. If you want to make a purchase that's somewhat frivolous or luxurious or otherwise unnecessary, that's totally fine, but just make sure you have the cash on hand to pay it off in full, because otherwise, before you know it, you're going to be paying double and you won't even realize it. Scam number 4 is one that's going to be a little bit controversial, and that is insurance. Insurance in a lot of ways is necessary and often legally mandated. You have to have house insurance or you can't get a mortgage. You have to have car insurance or you can't have a car. In my case, I also have to pay for business insurance for my work, and of course there's all sorts of other types of insurance like health insurance, life insurance, pet insurance, insurance for your personal belongings, all sorts of things. And to be honest with you, I think it's kind of all a scam. The premise of insurance is good, at least in theory, right? Where if something bad happens, you have insurance to bail you out and help you and fix whatever mess you've caused, and that's a good thing. But people often forget that insurance companies are for-profit companies. They're not charities. And so they are betting on the fact that you are going to pay them more money every month than they're ever going to pay back out to you. For about 12 years now, I've been paying over $150 a month every single month for car insurance that I've never once had to use. I've never once had a claim. And sure, if I got into a wreck tomorrow, I might be happy to have that insurance, but $150 a month, every month for 12 years is over $21,000. And to be honest with you, I would rather take my chances and have that $21,000 in my account and just repair my own car than have to bet on the fact that I'm gonna pay them money and hope that one day I get my value's worth, but also hope that I don't because I don't wanna get into a crash. But let's say I had a claim. Let's say something happened in the house or I got into a small car accident. Okay, fine, good news, I have insurance, now I'm getting my money's worth, right? Wrong. Because as soon as they have to take care of a claim, what they're gonna do is they're gonna raise your rates going forward, which means that all of that money that you've paid, they maybe have given some of it back to you, probably not all of it, but now they're gonna charge you even more, so really you're paying twice again, if you know what I'm saying. Insurance companies are not your friend, they're not charities, they're not there to help you or to bail you out of a bad situation despite what their commercials might want you to believe.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
They are there to make money on you, and they're there to get every single dollar they can out of you while paying out as little as possible. Insurance is a scam. I recognize from a car perspective at least that there has to be a liability in case you were ever to kill somebody. I get that, but honestly, like, it's just, I can't help but feel like I'm getting ripped off. Between the house, the car, and the business, I've spent thousands upon thousands of dollars over the years and never gotten a penny of it back, and I just feel like I'm getting hosed. And as if calling insurance a scam wasn't controversial enough for you, I'm about to piss off everybody else now. Scam number 5 that has become so normalized that we don't even realize it's a scam is a university degree. Yeah, I'm going there. I'm going to preface this entire rant by pointing out that yes, there are absolutely exceptions to what I'm about to say. There are certain degrees that are absolutely necessary, certain fields of work that you absolutely have to have a degree in, and certain fields of work that are going to pay enough to make that student debt or that degree completely worth it. I would never want to have a surgeon operate on me if they didn't have a medical degree, for example.
The knee bone's connected to the something. The something's connected to the red thing. The red thing's connected to my wristwatch. Uh-oh.
I know so many people who went to university and got degrees in things that they can't really use, or even if they're using them, they're not making nearly enough money to warrant the time and money they invested in that degree. I was talking to somebody just a couple days ago, a friend of mine who has 2 degrees and actually has a job in a field that she absolutely loves and is very passionate about, but she's still not able to pay her bills. And she was saying, like, I feel like I got scammed here. Like, I invested all of this time and all of this money and all of this effort into getting these degrees, and I'm barely making ends meet. In fact, I'm not making ends meet. If you are going to go to university, it makes perfect sense if you're going into a field like medicine or engineering or accounting or law, something that's going to be very useful and lead to a high-paying career that's going to make all of that student debt worth it. But ultimately, for me at least, if I had gone to university, if I had gotten a degree in something, I probably never would have been in the situation that I'm in today. Like, I never would have been able to buy a house. I don't even know where I would be. Maybe if I had gone and pursued one of those careers, I would have been better off, but I don't think that I necessarily would have. Out of all the people that go to university, only a very small percentage of them pursue those careers. There's so many other degrees that people get that are just not very useful, and it ruins their life financially. Most of my friends who have degrees are working in fields completely unrelated to what they studied. They're working in restaurants or as bartenders or retail, or some of them even have better jobs, but things that have no relation to the degree, and they've put themselves into $30,000 or $50,000 or even $100,000 worth of debt for a piece of paper that is worthless. In my parents' generation, going to university was pretty much a guarantee that you were going to get a good job and have a stable future, but that's just not the case anymore. In fact, of all of the people that I know personally, the ones who are doing the best, at least financially speaking, are all people who either never went to university at all, or who went but never graduated, or who got a degree but are working in something that didn't even require that degree. I think oversaturation is an issue too, where pretty much everybody has a bachelor's degree now. Well, everybody except for me, I guess. But if everybody has one, then it's just not that special, and it's not that important, and it's not that valuable, unfortunately. In a lot of cases, experience simply overrides education. A lot of the times, just having the knowledge, the experience, having gotten your hands dirty, having worked previously in a certain field, and being able to prove the results you're able to attain is going to be a lot more valuable than just a piece of paper that said you went to school. And I think that employers are starting to realize that, and I'm hoping that the rest of us will catch up too. If you want to be a doctor, go to university. You want to be an engineer, go to university. You want to be a lawyer, do your thing, all good. But otherwise, just go get a job, figure out what you're kind of good at doing and what you hopefully don't hate too much, and just dive into it and go make some money, because honestly, a piece of paper is just a piece of paper at the end of the day. Anyways, that is the end of my ranting for today. I would love to know your thoughts on these 5 points, but more importantly, I would like to know what else, in your opinion, is a scam that has become so normalized that we just accept it and don't even recognize it's a scam anymore. Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Hit the notification bell. You can follow me on Instagram at according_to_Nicole. You can check me out on Patreon if you'd like to further support this channel at patreon.com/according_to_Nicole. Other than that, thank you guys so much as always for watching. I really do appreciate it. Take care, and I will see ya next week.